Thank you.
Start it off? Sure.
Start it off, please.
So part of the activities that we're working on now is finishing up the construction documents for the main renovation portion of the project, which is starting to come to the close of the entire bond. We decided as a team that it would be beneficial to finish those documents and get them to the state so that we, knowing the length of time that it's taking for review process and approvals for projects, we thought it prudent that we get the building permit in hand so that we can better react to when it's time to go out to bid. So we're working on those documents currently, and we anticipate sending those to the state in July.
Okay, so to give you an update on what's happening right now on the job site itself, Phase 2 at the field house is ongoing. The submittal process. Right now, the only construction activity that you see ongoing at the field house is they're painting some of the steel and they'll start doing some of the exterior masonry replacement, repointing, working the new soffits around the pool area, and just doing the exterior work until June 5th, when the building will then be unoccupied, and then we'll go inside and get started there. Main mechanicals, we've been doing that. We took full advantage of the spring break. We had some asbestos abatement that was done during that week. We removed all of the old existing fans and equipment out of the penthouse on the roof. Had a crane there, lifted all of that old stuff out, and that will be replaced with new ductwork and new equipment. So we had to remove a portion of the penthouse roof, which is a little building on top of the school on the Broadway side, clean it all out, and then re-roof it back up again so that we can put the new equipment in. We also replaced the gas line. We're doing work in the boiler room. We expect the boilers to come in about 4 weeks or so, will be delivered for Maine, and then we'll just start to do that boiler replacement. And then nothing inside of Maine outside of the boiler room will be done until school is out in June. On the East Addition, we've opened up for emergency egress only the E1 stair tower, which is the north stair tower of the East Addition. And then we'll have a fire drill this Friday. That'll be the first time that they'll be using that. Right now it is strictly for emergency use only. We have partitioned it off from the balance of the construction area, so there'll be no, the construction workers are not allowed to go into that stair at all. We use the other stairwell. Interior glazing has been installed. I'll show you some pictures. It looks really nice. Sorry. RTU1, which is the rooftop unit on the East Addition, was started up. And then other than that, we're still continuing to do finish work throughout the East Addition on all floors. We also had the data rack. We had a mock-up done and had the IT department come and make sure that it was exactly the way they wanted that laid out, and that was all approved and moving forward. The elevator in the East Addition is done. It's just that we won't have it inspected until May 15th when we inspect the West Addition elevator as well. In the West Addition, all the stairs for the North Tower, that end of it is complete and finished. And when I say it's complete, that means that the stairs are in. Now, what we have is, as part of the early package, as you remember, we split it into 2 packages. So we had an early package that was the exterior work, and then the fit-up package, which was the interior work. So right now, for the early package, we had them do the roofing, which is now complete, and we're just getting ready to sign off, get our warranties, and get them off-site. The structural steel contractor, the only thing that they have left to do right now is basically the handrails on some of the stairwells. Other than that, they're basically complete. We have a glass contractor that did all of the exterior windows. They're going to come back May 22nd. They got about a week's worth of work yet to do, Once we can finish that south where we've been loading the west addition, they've got 2 windows there to put in. They've got some sunshades, exterior sunshades that go in, and some extended aluminum jam, just some jam work on the bump outs. So they'll be done by the end of May. So of the 5 contracts that we had in the early package, the only thing that'll be left is a little bit of GC work, which is just the exterior panels and that type of thing. And then, of course, the site work from the early package goes all the way through the summer of September, or the summer of 2018, because they'll do the final site and grading and finish work around the campus. Lockers for the West Edition will be delivered on May 15th. They'll take about 3 days and then they'll be installed. We've got the flooring all ready to go in. We'll start doing the flooring in the classrooms in the West Edition, the casework in the West Edition. So again, it's just following the East in its progress. Freight elevator will be delivered in May. Chiller will be started up in May. Again, we're down to about 64 workers average right now on site. When we were up to about 80, we had the framing and sheetrocking contractor, which had anywhere from 20 to 30 people on site a day, and they're basically done. Most of the framing and sheetrocking at this point is really done. Now we're concentrating on more finishes, painting and that type of thing. Testing and balancing will start. We, again, started up the rooftop unit today. Testing and balancing is just getting the heating system regulated, that it's working correctly in each of the classrooms, that fresh air and all of that. So we'll go through that in the East Edition, and then we'll start up the rooftop unit on the West Edition and do that as well. Sidewalk prep is underway. Lockers, casework, and then right now we are scheduled to start our punch list, which is when we go through and we say you missed a piece of paint here, or there's a chip here, or there's a little mark here. That'll start in mid-May, and then we'll have a final clean where they'll come through and they'll clean the whole building for occupancy, wash everything down, wax the floors, and get everything all ready for furniture in June for the East Edition, July for the West Edition. So as you can see, the flooring in the corridors is now pretty well complete. This is the East Edition. This is some of the glazing. Now this is the glazing that you find as you walk in at the end. Some of these were originally designated as the special ed rooms, but I'm not sure what their actual occupancy will be. But you can see the design. What you have is you have some of the red, some of the gray, and then some of the clear glass as the design feature, architectural design feature. Again, the interior windows at both the technology rooms and into the offices and wherever there's interior glass is now in place, including in the doors. The door glazing is in place. Exterior doors are in place. Some of the exterior lighting is in place. We'll also be putting in the cameras in the next few weeks, and the wireless clock system in the next few weeks, and moving forward with that as well in the East Edition. This is the interior glass outside of the technology room, by the teaching wall or by the designation wall. Toilets, accessories, fixtures, emergency signage, all of that at this point. It's really getting to be down to the point where you can see it's going to be a functional working space. Areas of refuge are all set up in the stair towers. Drinking closets, water bottle fillers. Exterior work, again, this is the East Edition. This is the last to get that exterior panels in place. West, same thing. The only area, we're just finishing on the east side of the West Edition for the exterior panels. And then, again, all of the casework for all of the classrooms, the offices, and everything in the West Edition. They've already got it all on site. It's all been sorted out as to which room it goes into, so now they're just starting to do the install of the casework throughout the West Edition. Paving, we've arranged now, so the paving around the campus, down the service alley, from the horseshoe at Broadway up and around the service alley, and down in front of the East Addition has been scheduled for the first week of July, so that will hit for as soon as the students are done to before the Summer 9 program begins. We have until the 17th, so we've squeezed everything in there and have that all scheduled. And it's pretty much a synopsis of everything that's ongoing. Everyone's received their summary report. I apologize that they only came out this week instead of last week. And Tom?
As I say at this podium just about every time, I thank the students and staff and the administration at the high school for their patience and diligence as we're doing all this work, and they've been great. Today we had a little issue with the alarm system. Had a little electrical problem there. The alarms rang and the strobes went off for a good 45 minutes, and we did take care of it. We handled it. It actually had nothing to do with the construction. The panel itself had a fault in it, and it just wanted to send off all the alarms. And although it was a few minutes of tough times up there, Kurt and his staff really kept things calm and did a great job, and I thank them. I also want to thank my cleaning crew for over the break. Just about every piece of every building was touched, and if you went in there on Thursday of last week, you would probably say school would not open, and on Monday, everything was turned back over to my guys, and they cleaned very diligently, and it was ready for school on Monday, and they did a terrific job. And other projects that we did in the break in the district was the electric poles were set at Crosby, the pump was put in at George Washington, and we had a myriad of just general work, cleaning up fields and that kind of thing. So everything's going along very well.
Any questions for?
I have a,
Yes,
this
Mr.
really, I guess
Shasty.
it isn't to the architect. How is an area of refuge explained to students? I've never seen that term before in school.
So the area of refuge is a requirement by the building code, fire code. And it is an area that's designated inside a stairwell that allows someone that is not able to easily move up and down the stairs to go to this area, and there's communication device there so that they can communicate with emergency personnel to let them know where they are, and so emergency personnel can come to them and help them out of the building. So through the signage that you see, and then also within the stairwell itself, there's specific signage to let someone know where it is. And then, of course, visually you'll be able to see the communication device. It's a box that you communicate through. You'll see that on the wall.
And so that will be part of orientation of students, or that's my question. I mean, how,
Yeah, I mean,
how do
it's
the
part of,
students-
it has to be included in our emergency evacuation drills, so students know that's where students of that, who can't get out quickly will go.
And also a part of that, the fire department has been very active. They've come over several times. Every time we have when we hooked up the fire pump, when the sprinklers were turned on, and they're aware of all these spots. We went through it at the field house, and so not only are they going to respond, they also know that that's there. So even if we've had discussions with them that even if they don't get a call from it, they're going to go check that area as they're doing the rest of their work to handle whatever emergency is there.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
The comment is really exciting to hear you talk about occupancy. Like clean it, it's
Final clean, that's my favorite word too. Final clean and occupancy.
Furniture.
yeah, furniture.
During the furniture
These are
days.
exciting words.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Where'd that come from?